Hello everyone and welcome to today's reflection. It's Wednesday the 26th of October. Well, it's nearly the end of October already. Isn't time flying? I think that this has been the quickest year ever. And now the nights are long and dark and the days are cold and wet. Christmas still seems like a long, long way off and the joy of spring even further away. But before that, we have Halloween and Guy Fawkes Night coming up. As Halloween approaches, I often wonder how much of this largely secular festival is actually connected to the church, and if there's anything that we can learn about it, or the following 2 days for that matter, All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. I'm always fascinated by how some of our main festivals and holidays merge the religious background with traditions of the secular variety, and that these become so interconnected that people become a bit confused and don't really understand why they're doing what they're doing and what the connection is. That's also something that happens on Mothering Sunday and even Easter with the Easter Bunny. But the merging of different traditions is also apparent at Halloween. As you know, Halloween's celebrated on October the 31st, and so it will occur this coming Monday. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic pagan festival of Samhain. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that's now Ireland, but also in Scotland and northern France, celebrated the New Year on November the 1st, the day after Halloween. This date marked the end of the summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, time of year that was often associated with human death. The Celts believed that on the night before the New Year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October the 31st, they celebrated Samhain, where it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to earth. In addition to causing trouble and damaging the crops, the Celts thought that the presence of otherworldly spirits, ghosts and ghouls, made it easier for the Druids, or the Celtic priests, to make predictions about the future. For a people that were entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort during this long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, the Druids built huge sacred bonfires, where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the pagan deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. When the celebration was over, they relit the hearths, which they had extinguished earlier in the evening, relit them from the sacred bonfire to help them during the coming winter. But by 43 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered the majority of the Celtic territory. In the course of the 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, including Scotland, 2 festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. Firstly, All Saints' Day. On May the 13th, 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honour of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day was established in the Western Church. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include all saints as well as all martyrs, and moved the observance from May the 13th to November the 1st. It's important to keep in mind that All Saints' Day is also known as All Hallows' Day, Hallowmas, or the Feast of the Saints in the Christian Church. The All Saints' Day celebration was also called All Hallows from the English Allhallows, meaning All Saints' Days. And the night before it, the traditional night of Samhain in the Celtic religion, began to be known as All Hallows' Eve, and eventually then Halloween. Hallowed means holy or sacred in Old English, as when we say the Lord's Prayer, hallowed be thy name. The day the November the 1st commemorates all the saints in the church, both known and unknown. But by the 9th century, the influence of Christianity had spread into the Celtic lands, where it gradually blended with and supplanted older Celtic rites. In 1000 AD, the Catholic Church made November the 2nd All Souls' Day, a day to honour the dead. It's widely believed today that the Church was attempting to replace this Celtic festival of the dead with a church-sanctioned holiday. So therefore, November the 2nd is a day when we can honour our dead, and it's a time when we can think about friends and family members who have passed. Most cultures and world religions have a special day for honouring the dead. The most famous probably being the Mexican Dia de los Muertos. This is also celebrated on November the 2nd, and again it's a fusion of the ancient culture of the Aztecs, native to Mexico, with Christianity. The amazing 2014 animated film The Book of Life tells the story of the customs of the Day of the Dead for Mexicans. On this day, Mexicans and others all over Latin America go to the cemetery and place not only flowers, but candles and food and drink and other trinkets on the graves of their loved ones. It's common to place the Mexican marigold on the grave. Unlike Halloween and All Souls' Day, the Day of the Dead is not morbid or gloomy, but joyful and vibrant, where women wear colourful floral dresses and men dress in smart suits, and people celebrate the lives of the departed rather than mourn them. The tradition is also to create altars in the family home or in public places like libraries and schools to commemorate the dead, and they bring their favourite foods and drinks as well as photos and other memorabilia. There are parades and a party-like atmosphere with families sitting in the cemeteries together, telling stories and anecdotes about their loved ones. It's a fascinating culture to research, and I am always intrigued by how different cultures celebrate their beliefs in so many different ways. So whilst I really don't care for ghosts and ghouls and all the nonsense of what we've come to know as Halloween today, I like the idea of using this time of year to remember loved ones who have passed away, take a trip to the cemetery and place some flowers on the graves of relatives and friends. Is this something that you do? What are your thoughts on Halloween? And how do you feel about the growing popularity of celebrating Halloween as the Americans do? I'll leave you with something to think about for the coming week. Have a good week, everyone.